y'all, we back at it again. I'm getting ready for my oldest daughter's birthday. So vibe with me as I make her cake and her party food. So right now, I'm just showing you some of the items that I will be using, such as 2% milk, vanilla extract, the cake that I'm using, and how I'm gonna get it prepared so that I can make her cake. Um, as you see, I am also using olive oil. Any brand should do, as well as I am using um, Pam cooking spray because, of course, it's non-stick to coat the pans, but also because my children had to use up all the olive oil. So we all know how that goes when you're trying to do things in the kitchen. And as you can see, I have already made one cake, so that's why you see some batter. But I'm just going to show you what I did in preparing the first cake as I make this second cake. My daughter decided that she wanted me to make her food and she wanted me to make her cake and she wanted a three-tier cake, and I was like, nah, we gonna do two. I can do that. And I'm using a Gemotech blender, and I'll make sure to have everything that I'm using down in the description bar in case I forget something. So as you can see, I've already coated the pan with the olive oil spray, and you finna see me do my little hack. Like I said, they used all of the olive oil, so I'm just going in using the olive oil cooking spray to get to the amount I'm going to need to make this next batch of batter. And I've already sprayed the cake pans with the olive oil cooking spray, as well as sprinkled a little bit of flour in the cake pans just to keep the cake from sticking as it cooks in the oven. And you see your girl like trying to make sure that she gets it to that line of demarcation so that I can get this batter done, because your girl definitely blending here. Like I said before, here's just me showing you the pan that I've already sprayed, and now I'm just opening up the Pillsbury strawberry cake. I like using these cakes because they're a lot more moist than the standard just cake, in my opinion. So, and y'all keep scissors everywhere I go because I don't be trying to struggle with no bags because these hands don't always be cooperating, and just be trying to get those bags open. Sometimes it gets on my nerves, so just using some scissors to cut open the bag. And now I'm gonna go in with my eggs. Of course, it calls for 3 eggs, and so I'm gonna break those up, trying to make sure to be careful and not drop any eggshells in, because yeah, ain't nobody trying to eat that. And I always try to keep some to put my eggshells in. I usually keep like a picture with a like trash bag or food line bag or something in it, and I also have a trash can up under my sink so that I can get to it, but I just put them in the box. And I'm going in with my blended version of my olive oil and my olive oil spray. um, and now I'm going to measure out my milk. And if I'm not mistaken, it calls for 1 cup of water. However, I prefer to use milk, so I'm just showing you the 1 cup mark, so that I can measure out my milk and get that incorporated into my batter and get everything, all good and mixed up. So you see the milk, and I am just showing you the 1 cup mark yet again, just so you can see. I know I'm being extra right here. Don't pay me no mind. Had to do all that just to pour the milk in, but I don't know. I can't even remember what was going on with my hand. Maybe I'm just tripping. And I'm going in with some vanilla extract. And I always shake it up before every use. I'm so used to seeing my grandma do this. And excuse me, I don't know if that's something you're supposed to do or what, but it's just what I do. So y'all bear with me through this. This is like my second time making a cake. I did it years ago it was in 2016, and I really thought I did well on that cake, but this is before I ever started a YouTube page or even ever thought about starting a YouTube page. So here we go on my second try, and I go in with about a cup of vanilla extract. You're gonna see me pour twice just because I actually filled it to the first line the first time, and so I just went in and filled it to the second line the second time to actually give me a full cap of vanilla extract. And I'm just going in with my blender to make sure to get everything good and incorporate it. And I know I'm being extra yet again, but that's just me trying to scrape every little bit of batter off of the cake spatula, because I left it in the bowl as I was pouring items in and wasn't thinking I needed to go ahead and to remove it, of course, before I started pouring everything in. So I'm just gonna blend this stuff up, like I said, really well to make sure everything is, good and mixed up. And my blender has like 5 speeds, so I usually blend on 4. Sometimes I'll go to 5, but you know. So as you can see, I am done blending up this batter, and I don't have it on. I'm just making sure that all of the batter is good and incorporated, and so I just kind of whisk around the bottom just to make sure I got everything good and mixed up. So I am a stickler for clean utensils. Once it's been in something, I want to rinse it off. So I'm just stepping away to get to the sink so that I can rinse my spatula off, so that I can use it once again. And I also don't like to have wet hands because I am clumsy and I drop things, so I have to dry my hands off. I know some people don't have an issue with that, but I do. I'm just trying to get this camera angled, just again so I can show you my pour method when transferring the batter into the pan. Like I said, I've already sprayed it with olive oil, and I put a little bit of flour in it just to keep the cake from sticking. And y'all see I'm trying to get every little bit of black batter up out of that mixing bowl. I just want to make sure to do a good job for my baby for her birthday. Y'all, I am so excited that it's my daughter's birthday. We don't ever seem to get to do much around this time during her birthday because of the cold and because of my health. And so she asked me to do this, and I want to make sure to get it done. And I always clean as I go, and make sure that I get everything like closed up so that when I have to transfer it back to the refrigerator or whatever, it's not a lot on me. So you just seeing me swivel the cake batter around to make sure it's good and even in the pan. And I'm also tapping it a little bit on my counter just to make sure to get out as many air bubbles as I can before I go to put it in the oven. So I am just showing you that I've gotten my cakes in the oven, and I need to make sure that my oven is preheated to 350 as the box states so that the cakes can cook. So I'm just showing you my mixing bowl that I'm using so that I can go ahead and get my meatballs prepared. I'm also using kosher salt. I like to use this when I cook, and you're just watching me pour it into one of my glass shakers. Um, and I like using this particular shaker because of the cap that goes on the glass container. You see how wide the holes are, and with kosher salt, it's a little thick. So, as far as the flakes are a little wide. So that is why I like using this particular shaker, um, so that I can, you know, get my salt out. I mean, no other way really to say it. And I'm just showing you again the top and how wide it is. I'm also going to use some breadcrumbs. I pretty much enjoyed this Italian bread. You can use whatever breadcrumbs you have, or crackers, or bread. I'm going in with some black pepper, McCormick of course, and then some garlic. And I'm trying this freeze dried brand. It's the first time. I usually have raw garlic. And I'm also using garlic seasoning. I do like the taste of garlic, and so do my children. And onion powder. I like onions. My daughter likes onions. However, my other two don't. So I'm using the powder, and I'm also using chili powder. So next, I'm just showing you that I'm using the ground beef Food Line brand. Um, and I don't have a preference on ground beef. Um, I know some people do, so use what you like. You can also use turkey ground beef if you're not a beef person. And I am using about 2 pounds. I try to measure it out by going to the little line, if you can see where my hand is, like right where the calories and all that good stuff. Um, so I'm just showing you that. And I'm estimating, like I said, about 2 pounds for the amount of um, meatballs I have to make. Now, one thing I do use is gloves, and I like reusable gloves versus just buying like throwaway gloves. And I always just grab me a pair from Dollar Tree, or you can get them, from your local store, grocery store, or anything. And I always wash the gloves. I go in with a permanent black marker, and I write cooking gloves on them, so I know that those gloves are only for cooking. And then I go in and just put some Dawn dish soap, but because they didn't have any, I had to go in with Palmolive, and I don't really care for Palmolive because you have to use about 3 times as much. And so you just see me at the sink using it to wash my hands, well, wash the gloves, I should say, as if I'm washing my hands. And that was my daughter popping in the video. It's the birthday girl, so yay. And I'm just showing you where I'm also getting ready to get everything mixed up. So I go in with 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and you can use whatever chili powder you have. You don't have to use chili powder. Use whatever seasonings you like. This is just my preference. Now I'm just getting the garlic seasoned, and I'm gonna go in with 1 tablespoon of garlic seasoning as well, and dump that right in. And I realized that I showed you that this is the onion powder, but that's the brand for the onion powder and the garlic powder. And I'm just going to go in with a tablespoon of garlic powder as well. Y'all, by this point, your girl is tired, and I don't know if you are noticing the looks on my face, but yeah, I'm ready to get this over with. And I'm going in with this garlic powder that I never used, and it is giving me trouble trying to get this stuff open, y'all. They got like a seal on it, like they trying to make sure don't nobody take it, boy. So I'm just going in with 2 tablespoons of this freeze dried garlic. So now that that is dumped in, we're moving right on to the pepper. And I'm going to go in again with about a 1/4 spoon of pepper. Use pepper, as you know, add as much as you want. So now I'm just going in, I'm gonna say with about a teaspoon of salt, but I didn't measure it out, and use as much salt as you like to make your recipe the way that you want. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a cup of breadcrumbs. And again, I like this brand because of the texture, but you know, use whatever breadcrumbs you have or crackers, what you like. And now it's time to get your mixing on. So get them hands in there. And you're just gonna mix until you get everything good and mixed well. Make sure everything is good and incorporated. So when you get ready to cook it, you good to go. So I'm just showing you where I've grabbed a flat pan, and I got my olive oil. I spray the pan, and I take a ice cream scooper and I scoop out the meat, and then I roll the balls in my hand just so that I can make sure the balls are even size. And I realized that the pan that I had was too small, so I decided to get a bigger pan and transfer the meatballs over to that pan before popping them in the oven. And so I'm making deviled eggs, so I wanted to go ahead and get my eggs going. And I'm just using my crock pot pressure cooker to do the eggs. So I'm just showing you the pot insert where the eggs are, and I'm gonna do the 5 by 5 method where you steam them for 5 minutes or boil them for 5 minutes. If you're using the stove, you're gonna have to boil them probably about 10 to 12 minutes, and then you still want to pop them in a ice bath for about 5 minutes so you can stop the cooking process. Just showing you where I'm getting the ice and getting water and putting in my bowl so that the eggs can cool once they're ready. So now I'm just going to get the eggs out of the crock pot, and y'all, I thought my hands was gonna be able to take it, but they was too hot, so I had to go get an oven mitten. And now I'm just transferring the eggs from the pressure cooker right into the ice bath. And now I'm gonna take them over to my counter so that they can rest. Y'all, I actually purchased this little cake set from Amazon, and at first I wasn't gonna get it, but I knew because my daughter wanted a 2-tier cake what I was gonna have to do and try to cut it, and I didn't want to try to do all that with a knife. And then I knew I needed piping bags, and so I decided that I was going to go ahead and get it. And it's so weird because then I found piping bags at Dollar Tree which were disposable, and I ended up deciding to use those, which you'll see later on in the video. But the wire that came with the uh, set, the cake set, which I'm showing you right now, it really did what I needed it to do as far as, you know, being able to smoothly take off the top of the cake. So I'm just showing you where it has notches that you can move the wires to, you know, where you need them to be. And y'all know that I have trouble with things, especially new things, but I'm gonna get it. And I hope you can see the little notches that are on the side, where you can like move the cake cutters wires up and down. And I'm just showing you now the like cake smoothers, like for the icing, that I am excited to use. And it also comes with 3 piping bags, but I'm not going to use those, so I'm just showing you looky loo. And here are the spoons that I got from Dollar Tree. I like these because they're disposable, nothing to clean. And at this time, I'm just turning my meatballs. You want to make sure to turn them after letting them cook for 15 minutes on one side. Turn the other side, let those cook for 15 minutes, and then you can pop them right out of the oven and go ahead and let them rest. Y'all, it's about almost 1 in the morning, and whew, I still got a little ways to go, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get as much done as I can. And so I'm just showing you that I'm going in with barbecue sauce as well as ketchup. And sometimes, you know, when the sauce doesn't want to fall, you can just tap it on a counter and voila. And so this is my mixture. I didn't measure it out because I wasn't sure how much I was gonna need for the meatballs, and the only one that wanted barbecue was the birthday girl. So I didn't do many. So now I'm gonna transfer my meatballs directly off of the pan right into my mixture. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stir them up. Try to shake as much as grease fat off of them as you can, but it's not gonna hurt because it just adds flavor, in my opinion. Once I got them good and mixed up, I'm just gonna transfer them onto a pan, and then we're gonna move on to the cake. Y'all, I am so excited to do this cake, and I'm just showing you where I'm using Cool Whip as well as strawberry icing, and I'm also using the Dollar Tree piping bag because it's easy cleanup. And excuse the birthday girl in the background yelling at the dog to stay away from the trash. We keep it in the garage, but she gets into everything. So now I'm just opening up the Cool Whip, and I am just showing you the fluffiness of it. And next I'm going to grab the icing so I can have that already good and open when I get ready to start mixing everything together. And here's a kitchen tip from me to you. Make sure to keep you like a trash can or a bucket with a bag in it so you don't have to worry about trying to clean everything up at once to keep your station clear, and you're good to go. So I'm just going to insert the disposable piping bag right into a tall cup, and I got this from everything that I'm doing right now. I pretty much got from my cousin. Shout out to her, Christina D. Antoinette. She was a cake maker for a big food chain, and she always would show me little stuff because I love having her make like cakes and cupcakes. And so that was something that she showed me when doing icing. Another thing she showed me was to mix whipped cream with the icing because it gives it a thinner, well, not thinner texture, but a more fluffy texture, if you will. And it actually tastes better than me. It's kind of like that buttercream icing, versus just like that, like the Cool Whip icing. But I don't know, it adds something to it. And so I'm just showing you that I'm adding about 2.5 tablespoons of whipped cream and about 1 tablespoon of icing. So here I go scraping again, y'all. Y'all know I be trying to get every little crevice and crack of whatever I'm using. So don't laugh at me because I'm laughing at myself. And I'm just showing you the cakes. I got them out of the oven, and I'm just popping a cake plate on top of them just into the morning because I know I won't be icing them tonight. But I'm just going and mixing up this whipped cream and mixing up the icing, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the piping bag so that I can get it sealed and set and put in the refrigerator for in the morning. So today is the day, and it is officially my daughter's birthday. So I'm just showing you guys where I am going to go in with some Jimmy Dean regular sausage, so that I can make her sausage dip. And this is a recipe that my grandmother showed me how to do, and I just modified because she usually goes in with the Rotel tomatoes, but I didn't have any, so I'm just gonna use some Hunt's tomatoes, which is perfectly fine. And I'm not doing a whole bunch of seasonings or anything, just due to the fact that we have guests. So I'm gonna drop my meat right into a saucepan, and I have my oven on about medium, and I am just breaking up the meat a little bit. And you want to make sure that you are checking your meat and stirring it to get it good and cooked all the way through. Once the meat is cooked through, I go ahead and strain it just a little bit just to get any excess grease off of it. Pop it right back in the pot that it came out of, and as you see, I'm just going to pour right in my Hunt's diced tomatoes. And I'm just using a jar opener, and I will make sure to link it in the description down below, because sometimes I just don't have the strength to open jars, but we gonna get there. Now I'm going in with Tito's queso sauce, stir it and bring it to a low heat and just let it simmer. So now I'm just showing you the Dannon celery that I'm going to cut up finger length each, and I also pop it in an ice bath so the celery will keep its color. And I'm going to go ahead and chop up this kiwi, and I have some mozzarella sticks, and I'm going to slice those up, as well as go ahead and slice up a pineapple. And this is just to make my daughter's vegetable slash fruit slash cheese tray, if you will. And I'm just doing the pineapple in chunks. So the eggs that I boiled last night, I'm cracking them, and then I'm going to rinse them off, and I'm going to take them over to my cutting board, and I'm going to cut them open and dump the yolks out into a bowl so that I can mix up my filling for my deviled eggs. I use about 2.5 spoons of mayonnaise, some salt, some pepper, some sweet relish, and about a tablespoon of mustard. And I'm just gonna mix that up real well, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill my eggs and pop them in the refrigerator. And I'm just using a charger tray that I got from Dollar Tree, and then I'm also gonna sprinkle them with some paprika. Last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and take the top layer off of the top tier of the first cake, and then I'm going to use the filling that I made last night, smooth it out, put that cake on top, and go ahead and ice the cake and decorate it with the rest of the icing that we made last night and some strawberries. And done. I'll catch you in the next video.